Hey guys, and welcome to our TGI preview video. We are Idealist NA. We've got the full three-man squad here. I'm HG3 and I'm joined by Tragic Star and Manti XD. How's it going, guys?
What up?
Hey.
How's it going, dude?
And what we're going to do today is take you through TGI. We'll talk a bit about the format, talk about some of our predictions, how certain changes or styles might affect play throughout the course of that tournament, because we're pretty excited to participate in as a team. So we'll get right into it. If you guys don't know the TGI format, to break it down to the simplest form, it is a pick 4, ban 1, or bring 4, ban 1. So you're going to play 3 decks in a match, which is going to be a best of 5 format. Each player on the team is responsible for winning with 1 leader in order to win the match. I mean, if you want to lose with 1 leader repeatedly, you can do that as well. Nancy, don't get any ideas from
I was nodding. Just you can see me, but I was nodding. I was like, "Yep, I'm gonna pull that out."
So this ban format is something we have experience with before. Obviously, the biggest instance of this is Challenger. Tragic, what do you think about ban formats? It's kind of been, drifted away from in the competitive scene for a little while now.
Especially this format, it'll shape things up a little bit. Like right now on ladder, you're seeing tons of Dagon, and there's lots of decks that just can't beat Dagon. So for a tournament that's going to start this week on this patch, you're going to see decks that probably people won't be expecting because they're not be running ladder at all because of the Dagons. But take out the Dagon with the monster ban, and all of a sudden you have 4 factions that people can play whatever they want.
4 whole factions. No one's ever known.
Yeah,
people have to go into the compendium and start looking at the Nilfgaard faction again. See what cards they have. No, actually, Mil's been making a comeback. Manti, what do you think about Dagon? Looking at the pool of teams and whatnot, give me a percentage on how often you think Dagon's going to get banned right now.
90, around 90%. Like, the only way that the Dagon is actually gonna see any play is if somebody has like gotten into like study constantly how to beat that Dagon. But so far nobody has done anything like that. Otherwise we would have seen it on the meta. We would have seen stuff like we would have seen stuff
special guest appearance by Mrs. Tragic Star.
Say hello. So
that's our 4th member if someone's absent.
Shh, don't tell anybody. That's a real, yes.
A trump card. We're
Yeah.
gonna have her play for Manti. Guys. Don't worry.
Feels bad. No, but honestly, if somebody had already any tech against Dagon, we would have seen it in the ladder at any given point. So it makes me believe that Dagon is just going to be constantly banned, and the 10% that is not going to be banned is going to be like a mistake or a misclick or a mishap, something
it's gonna be
like that.
Like the people that think they're too cheeky,
yeah,
be like, we'll leave Dagon open. We have this, and that to deal with it. Do you think there's any merit to leaving the Dagon ban open right now, Tragic?
No, absolutely not.
that was so concise and to the point. I love it.
Yeah, that doesn't even take thinking about. It's everybody, if they're serious, will be banning Dagon this week.
I think that's fair, and I think everyone should operate like with that assumption. And if something else happens, like whatever. That kind of happened in Challenger, right? Where we assumed that Scoia'tael was going to get banned, and when it didn't, it was like, okay.
Yeah, but to be fair, back then it was a 2-deck meta, so that was a little bit different. Where this one, Dagon is so dominant that even if you think you have a single deck that is really good against Dagon, it doesn't matter because you have to win with each deck. So it's not like you can target Dagon with all 3 decks, for example, in this format. So no matter what, even if you think you have this awesome, sweet sleeper deck that beats Dagon or does decent against it, well, it doesn't matter because the other 2 decks you're going to bring are not going to do good against it.
That's a very fair point. And the other thing is, like, if somebody's gonna, let's say, like, I'm not gonna ban Dagon because this way my opponent is gonna think that I have something against it. The moment that they play Dagon, they're gonna be like, oh crap, what are you gonna do now? And Dagon is so strong that there is nothing that you can see on top ladder right now besides Dagon.
And we actually got confirmation, I think, through the Discord today that when you declare a leader, it does not lock you into a deck. So we say Dagon as like, you know, an overarching element, but there's like what, 4 subtypes of Dagon decks that you can tech into depending on your matchup. There's the control, the greed, the half consume hybrid. Like there's a lot that you could tech once you know what your opponent is. So at that point, like if you left it open, and even if you played with some of your other decks, you lost and got a gist of what your opponent's running, you could like fine tune it and snipe matchups, and it would seem like a hassle. But let's leave him alone for now, because I'm pretty sure everyone hates hearing about Dagon. Let's talk about the potential of a patch happening. Obviously, this tournament's going to run over the course of several months. I think it's 2 months, right? September finish, maybe that's 1.5 months or something. So there's a high potential for a patch, and if there isn't a patch, there'll be a riot. So something big is going to happen one way or the other. How would a patch affect tournament play while the tournament's in progress? And also, would be like the best type of player, maybe an example of someone that would adapt to this better and it would benefit?
All right,
Manti,
so I'll take it from here. Yeah, so first of all, I want to speak about like players that actually not afraid of trying things, and I think that this, if there is any patch or any changes incoming, is they're gonna benefit the players who are actually willing to try something new. So somebody who is actually not afraid of making mistakes, and whenever you make mistakes, you learn from them. A player like that is Freddy Babes. He's a player that is like, all right, let's try this card. And then everybody's like, dude, this try sucks. And he's like, all right, then let me find out for myself. So players like that are willing to pioneer are the ones that will lead, and the rest will just simply follow.
What do you think, Tragic?
I think this format's going to heavily favor the deck creator type people. There's people that are kind of known for just being solid players and taking decks that are popular and kind of maybe changing just a couple cards to fit them and fit the ladder at the time. And there's people that completely create brand new deck archetypes and try to basically rebase stuff. And I think this kind of format's going to favor those type of teams that have those players. And it doesn't have to be a team that has 3 of those players. It can be just a team that has 1 of those players on it. You know, if there's one really good person on the team that knows, you know, how to create decks and how to read the meta and what to do and whatnot, then, you know, he's obviously going to talk with his team and they can create 3 good decks for a week, and it's going to be better than even playing against 3 players that are maybe better than them in an actual game.
Does anyone come to mind in particular, like that type of player for you?
Yeah, I mean, everyone thinks of like Swim, I guess, since, you know, every day he's trying a new deck, and half the time he's serious, half the time he's not. But, you know, probably a more serious player would probably be like Karuna. Every time a new patch comes out, or every time he ladders for real, he always isn't afraid to play a deck that isn't played by other people, and he always seems to read the meta really good, I notice.
And just to like go with that for a second, the criticism in the past that I've heard from people inside CDPR and people outside is that there aren't actually that many innovators in the Gwent scene. And that was probably prior to open beta. That was like really emphasized. There's a lot of good players, a lot of players that can compete, but there weren't many people that were like really dedicated to the cause of trying to innovate and create decks. Are you seeing more of that now, or do you think that's still kind of like a more rare quality?
I think you're seeing more player base, a bigger player base, so you can see more people come out of it. And it's not just that there's players that are more creative than others right now. It's also there's just more cards in the pool. Every patch gets bigger, and every patch there's more options. So the bigger the card pool gets, the more you can get creative and play special cards and create these cool little decks.
Yeah. Give us more cards. I love that. So that's the gist of course, what we anticipate in terms of the actual competition. But now let's get to the nitty gritty and take a look at the teams that we have in this competition. There are a lot of teams. And I was wondering, I'm going to put you guys on the spot because you know what? Whatever. I'm going to blow up your spot, blow up your cover. You guys can't be closet fans. You got to come out and declare yourself for one team you think is interesting. You don't have to pick the winner right now. And you're not allowed to pick your own team.
Oh, really? Why?
We're on the same team. So if each of us went around and picked our team, this would be like the worst little round table in the history of the game. Also the most egotistical one. I was a little surprised Tragic didn't name himself as a top deck builder.
True.
So let's build off that, and let's start with Tragic this time. What's a team you're going to keep an eye on? What's a team that interests you, and why?
Yeah, I'm looking at all the players right now. Most of the players are newer players that came out the last patch, so I don't necessarily know every single person and which people are, I don't know, more innovators, whatever you want to say, when it comes to deck building. I'll probably just take Garuna's team. The problem with Garuna's team is I notice I don't know much about Panda, so I won't. I've heard good things about him, but I'll skip him since I don't personally know very well. Garuna, everybody knows, is the beast of Gwent. And I don't know how much he's been playing either recently, but if he takes the tournament serious and he does play like he used to in the past, then I mean, he's always going to be the favorite in anything he plays in. In a format like this, I mean, it could be two people here that I don't know, and it wouldn't matter because Garuna's on the team. He'd probably deck build for the whole team. But I mean, Curious is on here too, and same thing. I mean, he doesn't seem like he plays as much as he used to, but he's always been a very good, solid player, and he's kind of been very good at deck building, but not so much inventing a new archetype, but more of just kind of tinkering with them a little bit. So I don't know. They're all really good, solid players. I think that deck is probably the favorite even.
I think you're onto something there. It's definitely a team that if you were going straight off of tournament credentials, you'd be like, well, they don't have the results over the past 4 months to place as favorites. But especially in like a new format like this, it's hard to go off of individual tournaments because you have to cooperate. We're allowed to communicate throughout the course of matches. Each player has to win a match with a deck they get locked into or a faction leader they get locked into. So I think you're right. That's a good team. And Panda, I know me and Manti can vouch for him. He's like my mortal enemy on the ladder. We had a lot of duels back in the day. And he's a really good player. He was in a show match recently. I don't think it went his way, but he is an innovative player. He's made a couple of those decks. He was playing Axemen a while ago when no one else would bother to play them. He definitely pioneered part or all of the hybrid consume Dagon, which everyone dismissed immediately, and for him. So I think he is an interesting collaborator to pair up with Garuna, because those two can probably come up with some crazy stuff.
Yep, definitely.
And Manti, what team are you keeping an eye on?
I'm definitely gonna be a fanboy right here, and I'm gonna go with Gwent Blue. And the reason why it's gonna be Gwent Blue is because it's just simply there that you have Vishra, you have Swim, you have Freddy Babes. Once again, Freddy Babes and Swim are players that I'm not afraid of trying something new and adapting. Also, goof up a little bit, and that this might create some chaos. And then on the other side, you have Vishra, who will actually, he's a very of the book player, where he's very
by the book.
Yeah, he's very by the book player, and his plays are very solid overall. And if you already seen results of him when he got to the top 16 and eventually top 8 by a miracle. It was incredible, that tournament, and we see him play there. That's the reason why I'm picking that team.
Can I just say, I also think the team that's going to do very good, and it's something like this, it's very long. I think it's 6 weeks, right?
Yeah, it's a long one.
So I actually think probably the team that's going to really be the winner when everything's said and done, not just by looking at the players' names, it's going to be the team that takes it the most serious, and the team that actually is, working on it every weekend, played tons of games, and actually, playing at the format and trying to do those kind of things. Because there's going to be people in the term that's just going to, whatever they're playing on ladder or whatever. Yeah, exactly. Which, I mean, to be fair, it's a hard format because you have to be devoted to it, and you only have so much time to play Gwent. So, it could easily be someone we never heard before, or one of the newer players that did really good on the ladder recently. That if they completely devote themselves to this kind of tournament, I could see them being the winners for sure.
Yeah, and that's probably one of the upsides too of a tournament like this that has so many players in it, is that, you know, even some of these teams that have one player that we recognize and two that we don't, it could be like a platform for them to like get some tournament experience, maybe pull a tournament victory, placing high up. Whereas it's so hard to do that in a solo admittance tournament, especially like the Good Gaming Weeklies. Like, you know, a bad round goes against you and that was it for that week, and you can get like a really negative attitude. But having a team around you might support that as well. But we'll go ahead and get into the team I was looking at. So I didn't want to go to any obvious picks because, like, it's, you know, I figured you guys would cover that. And I looked down the list and I found this team named Mashed Potatoes with Thick Gravy. I don't know where the name came from, but it's Moody, Nimfra, I don't know how to say his name, Nimrafel, and Oviotro. And we all know Oviotro from the ladder. And they are actually qualified by being the highest scoring tournament players, I guess. That's what the little note says on the Reddit post. We know Oviotro is a really young, talented player. He's been pushing ladder for at least the past 3 months, I think. I've had a lot of encounters with him up and down the ladder. Very good. He's also been around the tournament scene. I think this Nim character, I think he eliminated me from a Good Gaming tournament like a month ago when I randomly entered one in like top 8. So this is like, you know, like a hate vote, as he's probably good. I'll vouch for him because he beat me. And I'm not sure who Moody is, but this is a team that, like, it kind of has tournament players in it, so it already has, you know, a basis of people that like to compete. So they might have the drive and passion to take it far without having necessarily like the one person to, like, you know, stick the flag down and be like, you know, this is my team. So I think that's like probably a well-balanced team and could really cause a stir. And it's not something that people will be necessarily looking out for because of the fact that they don't have a player that has, you know, done something crazy. Like, they don't have anyone that went to the Challenger or won a recent invitational. I don't know if these people have won. You know, they just won the last one, right? Open. So I think that's a pretty cool team to keep an eye on. There's a lot of good teams. We obviously couldn't mention all of them. So if you guys didn't get mentioned today, you know, slip us a $5 next time and we'll throw you in the show. Other than that, I think we want to keep it short. Let us know in the comments if you like this kind of roundtable show. Make sure to like this video if you liked it. And thank you to Manti and Tragic for joining me. We are Idealist NA. We will be participating in the tournament as a team. Do you guys have any parting thoughts?
Nope. No, I'm just kidding, guys. Seriously, if you guys don't like this video, I'm gonna get, you know, they're expecting so much of me. Go down for it. Yes, this is it, guys. No, all good. All I gotta say is thank you for watching. Thank you for being here. I really hope that you guys like this kind of video. And if you do, make sure you guys let us know. That's pretty much all. Shoutouts, huge shoutouts to Genetic Eye because he does an amazing job with our logo, and man, we love it. Thank you so much.
Yep. Thank you, Genetic Eye. Tragic, any closing thoughts?
I'm good.
Nobody? Nothing? You don't want to shout at your wife or anything?
No, she's getting very angry now, though. She's waiting for me.
What?
She looks very angry right now.
In the next video, he's gonna have a black eye.
Didn't listen. Okay, thank you so much, guys. We'll see you next time. Peace out.
See ya.
See ya.